Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio on Saga 960. I think we have to have a little conversation tonight about COVID-19 and this variant Omicron that is taking off. It is supposedly, the infections are supposedly doubling every 2.8 days. There's over 3,000 people that were infected yesterday or today. That was announced up from 1,500 on Tuesday or 1,400 on Tuesday. If this doubling keeps on going, 1,500, 3,000, 6,000, 12,000, 24,000, et cetera. They're saying we're going to have 10,000 a day before Christmas and potentially, multiples of that before New Year's. We've heard that it's a lot more contagious. We've heard that maybe it's not as impactful from a mortality standpoint, particularly if you've had double vaccines and particularly if you've had a booster. But it's certainly infectious. And, I have spoken to so many people, probably you have as well, about how there are, negative impacts of COVID, even if you didn't end up in the ICU. People are having this long COVID. They're having a fog. They're having mental issues, respiratory issues, et cetera. There's no question. This is a terrible issue. And we've been fighting it for 2 years, and I'm tired of it, and you're tired of it, and we're all tired of it and want it to go away. And now all of a sudden we get this variant that's more virulent, if not lethal, than we've had before. And you take a look at what's happened in South Africa and in France. It's just going crazy. And so I think we need to be vigilant. I think we need to go out and get those booster shots. I think we need to put our masks back on. I think we need to think about physically distancing, not social distancing. I think we need to be cognizant of not being in constrained quarters indoors with people for, any length of time. They say that you got to be, within 15 minutes, but now they're saying it's airborne. This new Omicron is very airborne. And so, it could hang around for a while. I got to tell you a personal impact. So I'm scheduled for an operation. It's pretty important for me. It's deemed elective surgery, but it's a pretty important operation. And I've just been warned that they may have to cancel it because there won't be enough ICU capacity, that there's enough operating room capacity. But when I come out, there'd be nowhere to go, no one to take care of me. And that's just one story. There's probably a million stories, or, maybe not a million, but lots of stories like that of people that have got cancer treatments or operations or, whatever it is, that aren't getting the treatment that they need and deserve because all the space is used up. And used up for a virus. And I think the other thing to think about is we didn't think we'd get the vaccine until about now. And we've had it for almost a year. The original plans were that it would take, a long time, 2 years to get the vaccines. And we got it in unparalleled time for development. So think about how life would be different if we didn't have the first and second dose and the booster, and we had to only rely on social distancing, physically distancing, and masks. And we should be thankful that modern science has given us these vaccines, and we should make use of them. And we should be cognizant of the people that don't believe in them, because they're still our countrymen, our brothers and sisters. We may disagree with them, but they're wonderful people. And we don't want to infect them, and we don't want them to infect us. And we don't want the variants to mutate within them and then come back and infect us in the future. And so we need to be more vigilant. We got to go back. Maybe not lockdowns, because I don't approve of the lockdowns, because I think they've dramatically negatively impacted small businesses. But I think we need to mask up and physically distance. I also want to let you know about a couple of the shows that I've gone on next week before Christmas. I've got Mira Slovenko, I think I pronounced the name wrong, I apologize, who is a Ukrainian opera singer, on Christmas Eve. And she is going to sing some Christmas songs, some Christmas hymns. She's got an incredible voice. Any of you that know her, she's spectacular. And it'll be a great way to get ready for Christmas if you're listening to the radio at 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve. On the day before Christmas, I've got an incredible jazz singer who's going to be Alison Morris is her name, and she's going to be singing some of her songs, as well as some Christmas songs, as well as talking about her career and a little bit about about the challenges of being a performer during COVID-19. I've then got on Wednesday a fascinating set of twins, Aaron and Caitlin Lee, who are both lawyers, articling lawyers. They graduated from U of T Law School. They are articling downtown Toronto. They're, I don't even know what you call them, millennials or whatever the right term is these days. And I talk about the challenges of being a young person in downtown Toronto, in society, and during COVID-19, where a lot of them haven't met a lot of their coworkers because they just started working, and if they've met them via Zoom or things like that. I've got an absolutely fascinating lady. Kathleen Black is her name. She is a Teams expert consultant in the real estate business, and she's one of the most inspirational people I've met. And she's going to be on Tuesday, and she's going to be talking about leadership. She's going to be talking about femininity. She's going to be talking about partnership and teams. And her philosophy in regards to teams is very applicable, whether you're in real estate or whether you're in life or whether you're in whatever the business that you're in. And then I've got some other people. And I just want to tell you that this past week, I've had, I think, just a really interesting week. And I want you to, if you haven't had a chance to listen to any of my shows or watch any of my shows, consider it. I had on this week, Scott Morrow, who is a Hollywood event producer. He's a producer of specials, of award shows, of events. He's got a bi-coastal life in Los Angeles, Hollywood, and in New York. And he's one of the most impressive people that I know. And it's a great show and well worth listening to if you're all interested. I've got Mark Wachowski, who is the president and CEO of Mercantile M&A, talking about Evergrande, this large Chinese property development company. And it's a story of a potential default and financial calamity that people aren't paying attention to. And I think it's something that we've got to listen in on and be aware of and be mindful of, because it could really have a devastating impact on the world economy. On Tuesday, I had Rick Anderson, who is a principal with Earnscliffe, and he was talking about COVID. He was talking about COP26 and climate change and what was done in Glasgow and what some of the technologies are that could change our life and stop climate change and stop the increase in carbon and the increase in temperatures. And it was a good interview, and he actually had hope for the oil and gas business in Alberta. And then Monday I had Dwayne Richards, who talked about financial planning and some of the things that we got to do to make sure that we think about what we got to do in the new year with our money. Anyway, I've got good shows next week, good shows last week, great shows on New Year's. I'm going to have a couple of people talking about New Year's resolutions and about I've got a psychic that's going to read some cards. I have a lot of fun doing the show. I get to meet really interesting people. I'm hopeful that some of you sometimes listen to it, either on the radio, 6 o'clock every night at 9:60 a.m. You can stream me online at www.saga960am.ca. You get all my podcasts and video casts on my website, briancrombie.com. My videos are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And my podcasts are on Speakeasy, on Audible Podcast, and on Audible and on Apple. So check me out. Thanks. Have a great weekend, everyone. Goodbye.